somebody on the sidewalk.
So a few months ago, Jason Aldean released Try That in a Small Town. And the basic message of this is that country folk in America have different values from the city folk. They're a lot more patriotic, community organized, or oriented. And basically, a lot of the nonsense that goes down in cities, if they tried that in a small town, they would get messed up. I was actually raised in a rural community myself. Now, I'm not American, I'm Canadian, so I don't know if it's exactly analogous, but our countries are pretty similar. And I do agree there are different values in small towns. You know, when you have a community of 1,000 or 2,000 people, that's a lot different from a metropolis where everybody's a stranger and you barely know anybody except the people at your work.
Lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool.
So, one of the things the song rails against is crime, and that's good. Crime is bad. But it also seems to evoke, especially if you look at the official music video and a lot of the footage that they're running, maybe not so much the lyrics, but the footage in the video, it seems like they're referencing the Black Lives Matters protests, where basically a bunch of communist anarchists tried to burn down America, and they were sort of cheered on by the political establishment while this was going on. And a lot of Americans, I believe, felt betrayed by the fact that they were abandoned by their government and the police and all these organizations which ostensibly were supposed to keep you safe, and they allowed these rioters to run amok. So I think this song does tap into a lot of the anger that people felt about how their cities were getting destroyed, people were burning things to the ground. And we saw this come to a head in Kenosha, where you have all of the adults, all of the police and whatnot, they're basically giving up. And so a 17-year-old boy takes it on himself to try to defend property from the communist rioters who are trying to burn everything down. Now, I don't even think this was so much the Black Lives Matters protesters. I think that they had some legitimate issues, and they were organizing to shed light on police brutality, on the treatment of black people by the police and the abuses there. And I think there were some legitimate grievances. I don't think those people were the ones who were burning everything down and really causing problems. I think these were communist provocateurs who were joining in on these protests, trying to subvert the Black Lives Matters movement in order to further their own anti-capitalist agenda of communism.
Out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think it's a...
There are certain authoritarian messages to the song that I don't personally agree with. If somebody wants to burn a flag, that's their choice, and I don't think that in and of itself should cause a bunch of rednecks to beat you up. Likewise, I don't caught into the revering of the police and the police state. I think that's a huge threat to our liberty, the over-militarization of the police and the over-criminalization of so many peaceful acts. So there are some messages in this song that I find objectionable as well.
We'll try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't.
Still, there's a lot that really hits home in this song. This idea of communities looking after each other, and I think that is more prevalent in a small town. A lot of rural communities aren't as wealthy as the cities, and things like property crime are viewed in a much harsher lens. And I sort of like the specter of vigilante justice that the song invokes. Recommend you don't, because I think society has begun to coddle criminals. We've got the revolving door of they get bail and then they're out, and then they get a week sentence and they're going back and then they're out again. And I think sometimes the politicians sort of like it when criminals run amok, because that reinforces the public's need for the state for security.
Try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck. Try that in a small town.
And maybe it's my hick origins, but just so much of the song, the way it's composed, it really resonates with me. Maybe it's the sort of weird combination of rock and country style, or the peculiar outfit the singer's wearing. I don't know. Something just clicks.
See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in.
Overall, I really like Jason Aldean's Try That in a Small Town. I think the overall message of the self-reliance of smaller communities, and heck, even just the appeal to law and order in a society where that's increasingly lacking, the song really does embody traditional Judeo-Christian values of faith, the market economy, hard work, family, community. Things that, sure, social democratic intellectuals might scoff at, but really, these are the fundamental values that have allowed our society to succeed. Maybe the song isn't sophisticated. Even there's some elements of cringeworthiness. But I'll tell you one thing, I can't stop listening to it.